Hey everybody, I'm Sparrow,
I'm Roxy.
And I'm Yellow.
and we're all adults.
Okay, so today's conversation is the art of faking an orgasm. Uh, I'll start first this time. We're gonna do this. I know we usually start with you, Sparrow, but I have only done it once. I feel like I don't like to waste my time with another human person if it's just not working. Like, if it's not there, it's not there, and I feel like it's okay to just stop and be like, you know what, you tried, and just be done with it.
You love stopping people in the middle of like sex.
That's not true. It's just okay. This is bad, but it's really just men. Like it's
I
just.
swear, like every story they've had, there's always
That's
been
not
like,
true. I've
I
been
got up and
talking
I
about
left.
like the same people through these. Well, no, I think I've only mentioned like 3 different people so far. Like, you know, I've only stopped also about 3 people and been like, you know what, that's enough. And I only got up and walked away from 2 out of those 3 people.
That's
so
terrible.
like, you know,
like, my self-esteem would be crushed at that point. I'd be like, damn, like midway, like you just get up and you
why?
leave it. Because that's just like, you're rejecting me on that level. It's like, we're already like doing it. It's just like, you're just going to say, this is not satisfactory enough. Like, I don't know, it's weird.
It's not even about it's not satisfactory enough. Sometimes it's satisfying and like you're just not gonna hit the end goal. Like there's just that feeling of like, I'm not coming today. Then there's nothing wrong with that. It's just like you kind of go until you're like, I'm satisfied for right now, and then you stop. You like the people who I've like just gotten up and be like, nah, fuck this, I'm done. Were people who like I probably shouldn't have wasted. I shouldn't say wasted. I shouldn't have spent my time with them or shared that space with them anyways, right?
It's fair enough.
So I don't know. I'm like, if people want to fake an orgasm, good for you. I feel like there's nothing wrong with just being like, I'm satisfied with where we are right now. This is a good stopping point. So.
Question. So, would you say that you've had like more good times versus not finishing times?
Oh, definitely more good times.
Cool.
That's good.
I just feel like the topics we've had so far are just good topics to like flush out all the bad shit that I've gone through so far. But I'll put this out there right now. I feel like women have a better understanding of like where we are and what we're doing and like getting things going than like I've been able to have with men. Like I've been able to have like, or I guess that's not even the right way of saying it. I've had more sex with women than I have men, so like the success rates are different and the interactions are different, right?
Yeah,
like,
I would feel like it's like different people know how to like please each other differently.
everyone has like a style, you know?
You know.
Like, and sometimes your style doesn't suit like me coming.
Yeah, but I feel like a woman is just gonna have more knowledge on that aspect than like a man. A man's not gonna necessarily know like, oh, you know, like this is actually how you treat a woman because they're going off what they know off porn, more than likely, you know.
Okay, I'm gonna jump in and like embarrass myself for all of 2 seconds though. I didn't know how to give blowjobs back in the day, and I straight up watched porn and Googled how-to videos because that's who I
Me too.
am.
The
That's
funny
what
part
you
is,
do?
yeah, a lot of
Yeah.
girls tell me that's what they do. They just watch porn and they're like, yo, let me figure this out. Or they get a carrot or like a vegetable that's like, yo, you did that? You
Yeah,
did the
I
cucumbers?
did.
I did the cucumber.
You
I
did?
even like bought a fake dick that was like black and really big, and it would like stick to my wall, and I was just really just
What?
I love the ones that stick to the wall.
I was
Those
like,
are
I'm
so
gonna
good.
suck this whole.
Oh
God.
my gosh, yeah, that's
I can't
hilarious.
believe I just said that, but yeah.
Wait, so
See
have
how
you
far
faked
I
an
can go.
orgasm or no?
Oh yeah, it's one of my expertise that I like to practice. Like, I've done that. I don't really know how many times I've done that.
So
Like, I can say like me being younger versus me being now. I feel like I didn't know like what feelings to expect out of sex. I knew things would feel good. I knew things would hurt. Maybe up until like 2 years ago did I like really know like, oh, so the way I make myself feel, somebody else can do that. And then they can do a little bit more too. Like, okay, cool. So that was definitely like my expertise that I like to do. Because sometimes I have found that when I have faked it, it makes them come faster. Like it makes the dude nut faster. Or like when it gets to that point where it kind of starts to hurt, maybe because the fan is on and it's getting cold and your pussy's starting to dry up. I'm just saying, I'm just keeping it real, like, because your butt's tooted up and they like from the back, and it's like, oh, okay, it's starting to dry up. I can feel it in my brain. Oh, like, let me just go ahead and end it. Like, call you a couple names that you like, blah, blah, blah. Let me just go ahead and end it. Cool. Or just so I don't like, because I like you as a person, I don't want to kill your ego type thing.
That's fair enough. I have a question though. So, like, out of curiosity, what would be your like go-to tactic for faking an orgasm? Like, what are the signs that you give to say like I'm faking it? Do you just like start moaning a little bit louder? Is it like you start like trying to quiver your body? Like, what are those indications so that
Like,
our audience can know?
I don't even like do the body quivering thing, but like back then, guys were just like very not smart. So it was just like I would just build it up. Like if I get louder and louder and say I'm finna come, and then I do this thing where I just like stop and go like ah, and my face looks kind of ugly. They think I'm coming, and I'm like, okay, so cool. If I smack them a little, like choke them and just look kind of ugly, they think I'm coming, and it usually works. It's like, yeah, I'm coming, fuck yeah, and it works for them. So I'm just like, okay, cool. I can just do this when I just don't feel like doing it anymore. But that's only if I like you. So it's just like,
You're nice. You're nice.
I'm nice. Like, oh my gosh, I'm nice. If I don't like you, I'm not faking anything. Well, I will fake and say my mom's calling.
My mom's
like
calling.
It matters.
We have to stop fucking.
Yeah, like my mom's on the
so
way
you're
home.
part of the walkout crew.
Yeah, like my mom's on the way home. Oh,
I
you
feel
stay
like
by yourself.
Walking out is more respectable.
Yeah.
Like if someone like decides to save your feelings and be like, oh yeah, here I'm gonna fake it, and like even if it's so good, actually not even if it's really that good and you can't tell, then you go to the next girl and then do the same shit and then she goes through the same cycle. That's not fair. End the cycle.
I feel like in a short-term way and a long-term way, like yes or no. Because like in the short-term run, it's definitely going to be like, well, damn, my feelings are hurt. Like, fuck. In the long-term run, you're right, because it's going to be like an educational thing where it's just like, okay, clearly something I was doing. Faking it, the whole point is to not let your partner know.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's a deceitful part of it where it's just kind of like, they're not supposed to know regardless.
I don't know. Have you ever faked one?
I want to say yeah. I want to say there's been like certain situations where I just been like, I don't want to be here anymore.
Oh no.
And like sometimes it's just like, okay, I came. I'll see you later. Especially when you have a condom, you can just say like you faked you cummed.
So how do you fake it?
Yeah.
Usually just a grunting or just like and then just like you pause because you're like right before you come, you like kind of have like this little pause moment.
Mm-hmm.
Just you kind of replicate the little pause moment. You're just like, oh okay, I'm done. You pull the condom out and you're good.
Do you think any of the women you've been with could tell?
I'm not sure, honestly. That's a good question. I would have to call people up and like ask. It's like,
Hey, did you know? But then you'd be telling on yourself. Would
Yeah.
you be willing to tell on yourself?
I mean, for shits and giggles, probably.
Okay.
Yeah, for shits and giggles, I probably would. But I feel like it's a lot easier as a guy to like fake an orgasm when you are like wearing a condom, because like if you're fucking somebody raw, there's always just like, where's this come at? You know.
I also feel like faking an orgasm may not necessarily have something to do with the other person. Like, for example, like people maybe who participate in recreational stuff, like drinking, drugs too much, it's harder for them to come, which I have read. Or basically, you jacked off too many times, or maybe I did too much DJing earlier, and it would be like hard for me to come.
What's
Like,
DJing?
like playing with myself. Ricky,
Oh.
Ricky. Like,
Oh.
it would just be like, it would kind of be hard. Like, if I already, I guess, fucked myself 3 or 4 times today, and then you come doing all this extra shit, it's just like, at that point, my vagina's tired. But she'll just get wet out of her own whatever. It's
Your
not.
vagina does what it wants.
Because, like, yeah, I like, even like getting wet and all that type of stuff, that's kind of like an involuntary thing. It has nothing to do with your mind.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of like,
Your body adjusts.
yeah,
to the
it like
situation.
adjusts to it. Doesn't mean I'm gonna come. People who just come on accident, God bless you. But I'm just not one of those people.
God bless them. That's a good
God bless
A good
you.
one.
You were
So-
chosen.
What makes a good fake orgasm? Because I think, I don't even think it's like, it has to be like a spot on acting moment of like, oh, no one can tell. I think it just has to be good enough that the other person can still enjoy and finish, and then you can walk away clean. If you're gonna do it, like, at least, and you're not enjoying yourself, then the other person should at least enjoy whatever that is. Thoughts?
I guess I feel like for me, I don't know if it's because I like study people too much or whatever. I feel like in the past I have like realized like you already you kind of know like when this guy is gonna like come or whatever. So I won't fake it until he's about to come. Usually, because it's like, okay, this sounds so bad.
I don't think it's gonna sound
It's
I want
like,
to hear it. I'm interested in this.
because it's like if you, from when I've had sex with people, it hasn't been like a long time for somebody to be able to come. So it's just kind of like,
Just gotta hold up long enough
It's
for
like,
this moment to
it's
happen.
like, yeah, like the moment I see the little vein in the neck popping out, I'm like, okay, time for the theatrics. Daddy, oh, Poppy, you like that? Cool. Poppy, slap me, pull my hair. Oh yeah, you like that? Okay. What else can I say? You raggedy bitch. Ooh, you like that?
You
Okay.
call somebody a raggedy bitch?
Yeah, they
Oh,
like
wow.
that shit. Like, oh yeah, you dumb bitch, blah blah. Hit them, they hit you back and shit. And then I say, I'm finna come. Oh, I'm coming. I'm not. But oh, I'm coming. I look a little cross-eyed, and then it's like, yeah, that's over.
Do you do like the eyes to the back of your head when you see the
Yeah,
white spots?
definitely look like an exorcism.
Yeah, you're
If that's
like-
what you're into, I will give you that. Like, I was definitely that person. Cool. Now it's over. It's been about 15 minutes, and that's great.
So is the sex still good for you if you have to fake an orgasm?
There has, like how I was saying earlier, there has been times where like the sex was so bomb, but I was doing too much earlier, and my vagina was like, girl,
You just need to get out of
you
there.
need to drink some water.
You
Like,
need snacks.
Right, like literally some type shit where he pulled up on me and I literally just finished 3 minutes ago. And it's like, fuck.
Oh, yeah. So
If
at
I
that
knew
point,
you
you're
were
solo,
coming
too.
over here. Right, like
Yeah.
if I knew you were coming over, I could have just saved that. But you know, since I like you, I'm only talking about people I like. Cool, like let me give you the dramatics, I guess. Or better yet, I guess, if I've like liked and had respect for a person, then I won't fake it. Like, and that's been only like with 2 people. Like ultimate respect for a person, maybe it'll be like I'll definitely say something like, you know, maybe not today, but it's okay. Like,
One day.
it's not
someday.
you, it's me.
This
But
is-
I'm actually being
Sparrow,
honest.
same question. What makes a good fake orgasm for you?
I think just going off what Roxy said, it's just like knowing like your time limit too, because it's like if you go past like a certain amount of time, it's just like, all right, this is kind of like the expected moment for me to just wrap this up. You know, you have like somebody just telling you to wrap it up in the background or something. You just be like, all right, cool, you
It's
know.
in the background telling you to finish.
Yeah, it's just like, yo, wrap it up. And it's like, okay, just once again, the grunts and then just like the pausing and just like, it's just, you know, I don't know. That was probably a terrible grunt, but like.
It's okay. We don't want to give.
We don't want the real
too
thing.
much.
Yeah. So I feel like that's really where it is, where it's just like with certain people, especially if like you start, you know, it's like your first couple of times having sex with somebody. It's like you don't want to like necessarily do it. And it's just like, all right, cool. It's been 10 to 15 minutes. Just let me get out of here. Like, I want to go about my day. I got stuff to do. Like,
Oh shit. See, I feel like that's more ruthless than me. At least I like give feedback.
I mean, if I don't plan to see that person or like get intimate with that person again, I'm just gonna let it be. I don't know. That's just me.
Okay. I guess it's different then because I don't really like one night stands. Like, I've had one, and I was like, I don't like this. And I've had like a couple of what I'll call like weekend stands where like they're around for like a couple of weeks and then they disappear. They're not like my boyfriend or girlfriend, you know? So like, I want to be able to put time and effort into whoever this other person is anyways. And I feel like faking it hurts me and them. I feel like if it's a one night stand and you want to fake it and walk away, like your hands are clean at that
That's
point.
what I'm saying.
You never have to see them again.
Exactly.
But at the same time, I definitely feel like, this sounds so shitty, but I have to care enough to tell you that it was bad. If I don't care enough, it's like in my mind I've made a note, we're never gonna have sex again. But since I
once you
already
make
don't
that
care,
decision, it's just kind of like, I don't even care if I like live up to your hype or whatever.
Because it's like usually if I don't care about a guy, I kind of have the sense he doesn't care about me, sort of, kind of. It's like, okay, this is just a sex thing. Granted that you failed that department, I feel like there's nothing else for us to talk about. Like, cool. If you feel like you was killing it,
good for you.
Maybe somebody will like that. Because even I've taken like into account like vaginas are different.
Yes.
All vaginas are different, and if you care enough to learn and work with how mine functions, go you. Like, we need to keep doing this. But obviously, if you don't, we're not gonna keep doing it. But I do feel like it's not my job to tell you, oh, for the next girl who may care about you. Maybe
do better for the next
like
one.
do better for her.
You didn't do good for me,
What's
but
your
do
name?
better for the next one.
Okay, like, do you know me? Oh, okay, like yeah, like that's how I feel about that. So
Interesting.
sounds shitty, but
I don't think it's shitty. I think it's very like a matter of fact moment, right? Like, because I like want to make sure I put myself in like certain spaces or whatever when I'm having sex with someone. If it's less about the other person, even when I give feedback at that point, it's like, hey, you tried. B minus for effort. We're not going to give them an A, right?
You tried. That's what
you tried.
You tried.
Thanks for trying.
Thanks for trying.
But
maybe next time.
If there's a next time, here's my instructions. Like, if I ever decide that this is worth trying it again, here's your report card. Here's your review.
And this like reminds me of the previous podcast that we've had. If you guys haven't noticed, she's a little bit more sexually responsible than both of us. Which is why her sex life works.
I don't know if I'd call it. Well, I am sexually responsible, right? Like I don't know what impulsive. It's like.
Yeah, we're kind of like, fuck it. Yeah. Like hers, there's like nice conversations, and I love it. It sounds so great, and I get a little bit jealous inside. I'm like, I should be that way. Fuck, why didn't I do that?
I feel like that's like a trauma response for me. Is like making sure I put myself in these spaces, because I have tried to like do the one night stand thing or like be casual and just not worry about this other person later. But I feel like those were the situations that I got taken advantage of, and I didn't like that feeling, right? Like, one, that's not safe for me. Two, like, now I'm emotionally and or physically hurt after those interactions. Like, I don't want to do all that. That's why I'm like, I sound really blunt and like, nah, fuck these men. I'm not going to worry about faking it for them. Like, it's not just like a nah, fuck them and their bullshit situation. It's also like I don't want to be taken advantage of again. And so like doing these things and taking these steps is like one more layer for me to like ensure my safety. Because like we're going to have a little bit of a trauma moment, like spill the tea real quick. I have had 4 attempted kidnappings in my life. And so I really don't want a 5th. I don't want any more. Like, I've had people follow me home or try to follow me home. I've had like someone in the last year, right before the pandemic hit, I was going to Kroger at night to put air in my tires, and it wasn't even that late. It was like 7 o'clock, maybe 7:30. Like, I'm not being reckless, like, whatever. There's plenty of people around. Yeah. And a man, like, in the dark sees me, like, going to Kroger, and I'm just at the traffic light, and he starts walking up to my car and filming me and tried to open my car door. Really? So, like, yeah. That's wild. Like, these are all things that I'm, like, I really think about it before I, like, get to certain points, because
I mean, you have that background and you have that history. Like, I mean, I don't blame you. It's completely like a trauma response, which is appropriate, because that sucks.
Like, I would love.
I'm sorry you had to experience that. I apologize for my gender, because I know like some men are total creeps. Like,
it's not all men though.
It's not all men.
Well, hold on. I'm not saying like it's not all men and like no, not all dudes are bad. I'm saying it in the sense that like the times that these things have happened to me, it's been men and women.
Mm-hmm.
Like, one of the first times someone ever tried to pick me up, it was a woman. So, like, you know, I'm like definitely on my P's and Q's to be like, there are times that, you know, you say no and like the other person's like keeps going and I'm like, no, I said no, and they're like, oh, I didn't hear, and it's like, did you really not hear me or did you just try to play me?
Mm-hmm.
So like I'm trying to be responsible and safe for like, because these things have happened.
You know, you gotta put up your boundaries because
Yeah.
it's like you're aware of what people are capable of.
I will even say I know what it's like to be in that situation. And I feel like mine is like a little bit unfortunate, but I feel like it's a fight or flight type of situation. And some people will find it funny, like in more than one times that it's happened. Some people will find the shit funny, but deep down inside, I was scared shitless. I remember, almost it's bringing emotion out of me, but I remember, like, I won't like say the exact thing, but like I remember being in college and it was like late, but we're downtown. You know how it is when you're in college, like you just go anywhere, and it was an unfortunate situation, and I literally, some people will laugh, I literally acted like I had a mental problem, like, because I was so scared, and this person was literally finna do some shit to me that I just started doing all types of crazy shit.
And it worked.
And then, yeah, like, or in other situations where I have been here and something unfortunate has happened, I've, like, tapped into the unfortunate, like, angry black woman syndrome. Like, where, although that's not really who I am, if I talk to you this way, then you're gonna know that you can't fuck with me. Although, protect yourself, yeah, like that's not who I am at all.
It's a shady world we live in at this stage.
Right.
It's like you have to do what you gotta do to protect yourself. Like,
all of a sudden, I sound like I'm from New York and I have a fucking razor in my mouth, even though I don't. Like, I don't at all.
Do you know what? Okay, so if I go out at night and stuff and I'm like ready to go dancing and things, I still carry knives in my shoe because at this point I've learned that no matter which way someone picks me up physically, I can always reach my foot. I can't reach in my pockets because like my pockets will be closed depending on how I get picked up. But my shoe, I can like kick my foot back and grab the knife.
Definitely. I get that.
That got dark.
That got dark.
But my whole point to this being that like being responsible and doing all these things is, yes, a trauma response, but also like a reason that I'm like faking an orgasm doesn't really make sense if I need to get out of here now. If I put myself, or not even if I put myself, if I end up in a situation where like someone's not respecting my boundaries, or if I have to stop and be like, this isn't gonna work or whatever, and something goes wrong, like I would rather not fake it and just get up and get out than be there for the aftermath of like faking it, you thinking we can keep going or something else, right? Like,
I mean, from that perspective, I agree completely. Like, you do what you gotta do. I mean, protect yourself at all costs. Like,
that's weird.
Yeah, fuck their feelings.
Yeah. And like, as for me, I'm thinking of it in a way of I am in control of this situation. Because like when it comes to like sexual stuff, maybe it's like my inner horoscope energy. I just feel like I'm in control of this. Like, you're going to finish when I want you to finish type of thing. And that's usually how it always goes. Like, I never really been into like a situation where I felt like the like sexually passive, or like kind of, I've always made it a thing to be like that dominant force. Like, even when a guy is kind of like powering over me, like, yeah, like slaps and shit are cute, but sometimes I'll do it to be like, oh, nigga,
I'm gonna show you what's
just
up.
know I will elbow you in your shit, like. And it'll, so, like, I've always been that person. Like, when I tell you to come, then you're gonna come. Like, it's a part of the faking, but at the same time, I guess it sort of kind of is a defense mechanism. So you don't ever feel like, in the event where I want to stop, you already know what I brought to the table. So when I say I want to stop, you know what's up.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just like, because you're the dominant one. So it's just like what I go says. And
I'm deaf. And like, just to like play into the next episode a little bit, I'm definitely the submissive personality. Like
Mhm.
that is where I thrive,
Yeah.
and I love it. But
I love
me
it too.
stopping instead of faking it like keeps me feeling like I have control over something.
Yeah.
So like if I say no, that's it, I'm done, and I get up, that's my like control. Like
Control
this
over
is it.
yourself, right?
Yeah, control over myself, control over the situation.
Mhm.
It gives you power.
know?
It puts power back in
I
your
like
position.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's totally fair. Like I said,
I like
coming from
that.
your perspective and understanding everything, you're like, yeah, do what you
Yeah.
gotta do.
Yeah, because
I
I
like
might
that
be
a
a
lot.
sub, but like I'm a bratty sub. So it's just kind of like a, oh, sorry, not this time.
Yeah. I like
Oh, you
that.
wanted to finish up? No.
No, I'm sorry.
I'll be back.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll be back. I'll let
Yeah.
you know. You
That
know?
makes so much sense.
No, it does.
Mm.
Can't argue with that.
And I'm
No.
definitely, I want to be in control over the entire situation. Like me, you, and this sex that's currently happening. Like, I want you to know you will remember me. And in the event you want to talk shit about me later, you'll say, but she got beep, 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 beep. She made me beep, 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 beep. You know, certain shit you don't even want to tell your niggas. Like, but when we see each other, it's like,
I know what you're about. Like,
you like, keep playing.
So I guess depending on the situation,
Yeah.
it is appropriate to fake an orgasm.
Yeah.
We can
There's
all
a
agree on
time and a
that.
place.
There's a time
Yeah,
and a
time
place
and a
to
place.
You know
fake an
what? It
orgasm.
is an art form. Like, just like the title of the episode is, like, if you really got this down and you know how to do it, I'm sorry you had to practice doing it so much, but also, what a gift.
Like, what a gift.
Talented.
Yeah, no, you're class A actor at that point. I was like,
I'm not a good actor. No one's gonna pay me for that shit. You know? Hello, we have a scene, blah, blah, blah,
I
do
love
this
it.
thing.
Yes. I love the role
Roxy might be
play.
able to do audition. For
I am,
that.
yeah, I am an
Yeah.
actor. That's like my thing.
Like, what is that show that everyone's obsessed with right now? The Bridgerton or whatever it is?
Oh, yeah.
I have no
Yeah.
idea.
I haven't watched it, but everybody has been
What is
talking
it?
about that.
Everyone's been, it's some, like, old school, like, courting whatever show, like, people in gowns, and, like, back in the day, this girl's, like, being presented for the first time. She falls in love with, like, a ward, something. I don't know exactly because I haven't watched it.
Yeah, I haven't
So I'm
heard
not
of
even
it.
going to pretend that this is the correct synopsis. Whoever's listening, if you like the show, I'm so sorry. I wish I cared to try more. I tried watching it. I couldn't do it.
Yeah, I haven't seen.
But
I haven't heard about it.
I did like walk in on one of my roommates watching it, and like the sex scenes are intense. And like
I will be
that's
watching
where
it.
like the faking an orgasm, like, and I'm watching these shows or movies where people have these like really intense sex scenes, and I'm like, wow, holy shit, like you did that. Like, what was it? I watched a movie recently, and by recently I mean like a couple months ago or whatever, and it was a lesbian movie about like this scientist who falls in love with this like younger woman or whatever, and the first time that they have sex, it was absolutely breathtaking. I was like, I know exactly what this feels like. This woman is like, her whole face is red and like suffocating, like from the weight of this other person's body, and I'm like, I know they're acting. I know they're acting, but at the same time, I'm watching this and I'm like, I know you know what her pussy smells like now.
Yeah.
I don't know how the people like act like this and then have this like fake orgasm on screen and like this intense moment where like as the audience member, I'm watching and like getting hot and flustered for you. I'm just like, oh, fan myself real quick, like what's happening? You know? Like that's a skill.
That is a skill, no, definitely, especially like being able to make other people feel what you're feeling, like
A little
shouts out to them.
psychopathic too.
Is it?
A little bit to like to kind of jar with other people's feelings that they wouldn't have by themselves, like certain things they would have never thought about. I feel like when it comes to shit like that, you really play off of people's weaknesses more than their like strengths, because when something's already somebody's strength, it's kind of like you kind of tickle at it. But when it's somebody's weakness, if you can like switch it and make it feel like because of me now this weakness is like I've made it better, or I've made you, I filled that void of your weakness. Now you kind of sort of turn it, and you can do that in sex. Like, better yet, having sex with a guy, you know, and he knows his penis isn't that big. But if you make it seem like, oh yeah, Like,
You hype somebody up.
like
Yeah.
this guy will feel like he's on cloud nine, talking to all types of girls, type of shit like that.
And when
So
people feel good, like, you benefit too, right?
mhm.
Like,
That's
even
true.
if you're not gonna fake an orgasm, if you can at least like get the other person to feel really positive about the situation, even if you're like, I'm not gonna fake it, but you know, you can still come, like, we'll still do this.
Yeah.
There is like a strength in that.
Mhm.
It's also like a level of respect, I guess. I guess.
Oh yeah. No,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
It's definitely a kindness, right? Like, sex should be
I believe in what
pleasurable
you
for
gotta
both
say.
people. So even if you're at a point, or if I'm at a point of like, oh, you know, I'm not really gonna come or whatever, like, I still want the other person to enjoy themselves and be like, okay, cool, we're done, right? Like, most of the time, even if I'm not gonna finish, like, I still think the other person, for them, if like my body can handle being in that situation or whatever, I'm still gonna like make sure that I can let the other person come, or like come to this finishing point, you know?
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to have a shitty time just because I'm having a shitty time, assuming that like there's trust and boundaries. Okay, so the question is, have you ever had good sex and still faked an orgasm?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah?
Yeah.
How does that play for you? Because I'm still so baffled by the fact that like a man can fake an orgasm on some level. Like,
For me,
I feel like you,
I've experienced that situation where it's going off something that Roxy said earlier. It's definitely like been a night where like either we drank too much, we were on some drugs, like it was something that was affecting our bodies, and we had already probably been having sex for like a while, and it gets to the point too where it's like it hurts. Like
it hurts for you.
yeah, like
I'm like learning something all new.
like if you've been fucking for more like an hour, your penis starts to hurt. Like, you know, it's still like a piece of flesh. It's not like a dildo where it's just like silicone or whatever. You can just like jam it as much as you want. Like
You cannot jam it as much as you want.
well,
There is a point of soreness.
that's what I'm saying. There's a point of soreness too. Like it's still like a fleshy organ. It's like sometimes it's like, yo, I don't think I can do this no more.
Yeah.
Cause like especially like after a while too, like it won't stay as hard. It goes back to like sometimes women's pussies won't stay as wet. And it just goes with like time. It's just like the more time you spend, the harder it is to keep that going. And at those points, it's definitely like I don't think I can do this no more. Like we're having a great time. It's been good, but it's already been like 2 hours. I'm tired.
Yeah. Damn. Roxy, what about you?
I
Have you
feel
still had good sex even if you had to fake an orgasm?
like yeah, I feel like I had talked about it a little bit earlier. Like if I had already been doing stuff that day before, or if it's just been like long, and maybe I might. Have you ever witnessed like that thing where your brain is in the mood, but your vagina just is not?
Yes.
And it's just like I'm trying to trick her, and she's like, "Girl,
I
leave
wanna
me
do
alone. I just want to be asleep and marinate for the next person. But right now, I'm asleep." And I'm like, even I'm trying to play with it. Like, it's just like, damn,
Yeah,
I don't
there's
never
just
have to
time.
do this.
So, yeah.
But it's just like, dang, like, this is a spot that he's hitting that I would usually like. But right now, she's sleeping. So I don't know what to do. But it's just like, yeah, now it's just hurting. Like, it's gripping in a way that I don't like. Like, it's gripping unnecessarily.
It becomes uncomfortable.
Right. It feels like skin pulling on skin. And it's just like, yeah.
It feels weird. It's like even like I guess for a guy, from my perspective, it'd be like my dick won't get as hard, and it's like no matter how much you try stroking it, or how much you try like sucking on it, it's just like, bro, this is the most we're getting out of this. Like, so it's So
It's really
Well,
hard.
I'm going to call that a good place to head into aftercare for the day. I feel like we've jumped around a little bit. This episode's been a little bit mellow, but also like, you know, faking an orgasm is a little bit of a mellow mental state anyways. Suits the situation. Yeah, aftercare. Sparrow, any thoughts?
I definitely got a new perspective on it. As far as like doing it for a place of your comfort and your control as a woman. Yeah, definitely encourage that. Do that. Like, if you don't feel comfortable, you don't feel like power is in your court, then you take that shit. Especially when you're dealing with some of these guys, where it's just like they are weirdos and they are creeps, and a lot of them do react in anger, and that's something that you always want to protect yourself from. So, from that perspective, I would definitely learn something new, but not against it. I mean, do what you gotta do at the end of the day.
I want to also say for the aftercare that none of us, I believe, are glorifying it at all. We're not glorifying it. We're just really elaborating off of the plentiful ways of how, what, when, where, who it happened. Like, that is all this is. As you can see, like, for Yellow, there are different reasons, whereas me, Roxy had, and then Sparrow had. All the reasons were like completely different. I think we maybe agreed on one thing. So just like apply or not apply that to your life. We're not glorifying it and we're not negating it either.
Just be honest and transparent with your partner. You know, especially if this is a long-term partner. Like, just tell them, hey, this is how my body works. This is what I like stuff like that. But you're up next, Yellow.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm here for the fake orgasm if you want to do it, but I'm not a fan. So I feel like I definitely learned like there is a situation of like where that can be so empowering. So maybe one day I'll take one of y'all's leads and give it a try. But for the time being, I think I'm good.
Oh yeah, do a nice little hair flip with that.
Hair flip.
Oh yeah, with your little braids, have them like saddle your braids, make you a horse.
Listen, speaking of braids, guys, next episode is about, what is the next episode about?
It's dominating the
Yes.
bedroom.
All
I
right,
can't
I'm
wait.
excited. I feel like
It's going to be an interesting episode.
it's going to be a good one.
It's gonna be
be
very
funny. I
ruthless.
feel we're going to get a lot of laughs out of it. This
Oh
is
my god, it's
like,
going to be great. I
yeah.
think I have a few things to say about it. But either way, come listen in on the next one. Get to hear a little bit more about us. Maybe learn a couple of kinks from the three of us here and what happens in those situations. But this has been We're All Adults. Thank you so much.